Tonight, on the heels of President Trump signing his massive domestic policy bill into law, his former close ally, Elon Musk, announcing the formation of a new political party. Musk, the world's richest person, taking to his social media site X to say, "We live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Right. Today, the America Party is formed to give you back your freedom." Musk, who was President Trump's top campaign donor, has been feuding with the president over the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, which the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says will add more than $3 trillion to the national debt over the next 10 years.
And it could be more. It could be more. It could be less. We have to give Trump the benefit of the doubt, but he has lied on multiple occasions, and conservatives and liberals lied, politicians lied. But I hope that is not that much. I hope that it saves some money, but I've been duped before, so we'll just see what happens.
Musk has referred to the legislation as a debt slavery bill and had been teasing a new political party for days. The Tesla CEO did not respond to questions from NBC News seeking clarity about today's announcement.
The stock market's at an all-time high.
For his part, President Trump has been celebrating the bill. The legislation extends the tax cuts from his first term, reduces taxes on tips and overtime pay, and provides funds for his immigration priorities. It also makes some of the biggest cuts in history to social safety net programs like Medicaid and food assistance.
So let's look at that real quick. So, we know that it extends the tax cuts from his first term. It reduces taxes on tips and overtime pay. But remember, my wonderful brothers and sisters, remember when Uncle Trump was campaigning and he used to have them big posters that says no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime? Well, now it says reduce taxes on tips and overtime, meaning that you are going to get taxed throughout the year. But when you file your taxes the following year before April 15th, hopefully you don't owe, then you can get a deduction. But here's the thing. Let's just focus on the tips. Do you know that the federal minimum wage for tip workers is $2.13? There's a lot of states that just pay tip workers $2.13 and say, go out there and serve people, and then maybe those people give you tips. But then you got to focus on the overtime. It ain't all your overtime. So you can't make $50,000 in overtime and think that you'll be able to get all of it tax-free.
Last year, I put in about 500 hours of overtime.
500 hours of overtime. Now, what if that overtime wasn't taxed?
It certainly lightens the burden for your family. Pays for things like childcare and some rest, some vacations.
No, it's only up to $12,500. So they're gonna tax you on your overtime. So don't be fooled about that. Then immigration funding for immigration priorities, ICE, the border, all that stuff. Remember when Uncle Trump said that he was going to have Mexico pay for the border wall?
We will build a great wall along the southern border. And Mexico will pay for the wall.
That's not happening. You and me is paying for the border wall, or are paying for the border wall. So that's not gonna. And then the biggest cuts in history is the social safety nets program. That's sad because yes, you have people who are lazy. Let's be honest. But in America, we need lazy people. You see, I've come to the conclusion that when you have lazy people out here who don't really want to work, or they're okay with getting that little $292 with food stamps and Medicaid and stuff like that, what happens is that it forces these jobs to pay you and me more. Because if there's more people working, guess what will happen? The jobs will go ahead and say, well, you know what? Since this bill said that a person has to work 20 hours to get Medicaid, I could hire 2 workers instead of hiring you for 40 hours. I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, you got to read between the lines when it comes down with some of these conservative-led bills, because conservatives have a way to keep us in wage slavery. That's all I got to say about that. Let's get back to it.
In Missouri, Kimberly Gallagher is worried about how the bill's new work requirements could affect her and her son's access to Medicaid. Her son Daniel has a rare genetic disorder and autism, and she is his primary caregiver.
Medicaid is in every facet of our life. It's not just medical, it's financial, it's care. And to lose any of those parts would drastically change our lives.
Yamiche is traveling with the president today.
Man, that's sad. That's sad. That mother is trying to do what she got to do in Missouri, taking care of her son who cannot take care of himself. And Medicaid helps pay for many of the services and should also pay. There's a service in New York State called CDPAP where people who have Medicaid could hire caregivers, could hire their own caregivers, family members and stuff to take care of them. That mother should be getting paid to take care of her son. Now, of course, you got, ass clowns out there that would say, oh, well, we didn't help her make the baby. So what? We live in the United States of America, not the divided states. And we help each other. Come on now. We used to say the Pledge of Allegiance in all the schools. When I was growing up, we used to say it every single day. And it goes like this. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Not some, not just conservatives, not just liberals, but for all. We all have value. Come on. We got to do something about it. We have to do something about it. I'll leave the link to the video in the description box, guys. You can check the video out if you want. Shout out to NBC News. But come on. We must do something about it. We all are in this world together. And many of us Americans, we need to understand that we are blessed. My grandfather on my mother's side came from Jamaica. My grandfather on my father's side came from Trinidad. And my mother and my father met on Fulton Street. My father saw my mother and said, oh, look, I want to get with her. And boom, I was born 2 years later. If I was not born here in this country, who knows where I would be? Who knows how I would even be able to talk about certain things? I am glad and I am blessed. And I would do what I have to do to make sure that people get a chance to be able to experience or have the opportunity to get to where I'm at. I love you all, and I thank you so much for watching this video and watching all the rest of my videos if you have. I really appreciate you. I know your time is valuable, but you're spending it with me. Thank you, thank you. If you haven't already, please like the video, make some comments, and subscribe to this channel. All that good stuff will help me as I continue to grow on this YouTube platform, but I can only grow with your help. Thank you so much. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be safe out there. Peace.